I'm Teisha with Shalom TV's News Update. The Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations called on leaders of member countries of the Non-Aligned Movement, or NAM, to not attend the NAM summit coming up in Tehran later this month. The NAM is a group of approximately 120 nations who claim not to be aligned with any major world power bloc. The NAM summit is to be held in Iran, as it currently holds the chairmanship. Chairman of the Conference of Presidents Richard Stone and Executive Vice Chairman Malcolm Hoenlein released a statement asking all NAM leaders who value international law and justice to reject participation at the meeting, which takes place August the 26th through the 31st, and thereby reject terrorism and the nations who sponsor it, saying the government of Iran must receive a strong message from the international community, including many who have suffered directly or indirectly from Iran's support of global terrorism, as well as its dangerous pursuit of nuclear weapons capacity, to publicly declare their intention not to attend. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu urged United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon not to attend the summit as well, saying that there was no reason to go to a state which is anti-Semitic and has set as its goal the destruction of Israel. B'nai B'rith International wrote a letter to the UN Secretary General stating that the summit is not a UN-sponsored gathering and therefore there's no reason the UN should be represented there, saying doing so only gives legitimacy to the Iranian regime, which finances terror, pursues nuclear weapons, and violates human rights. Ban Ki-moon's spokesman has declined to comment on reports from Iran, saying that the UN Secretary General plans to attend. The president of the Union for Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, issued a statement Monday expressing great concern over the appointment of Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu to the Rabbinic Committee of Magen David Adom, or MDA, Israel's National Emergency, Medical, Ambulance, and Disaster Aid Service. The Rabbinic Committee is meant to determine religious guidelines for volunteers in the rescue service. Jacob cites Eliyahu's position as the chief rabbi of Tzfat, where he says Eliyahu has used his authority to incite racism and xenophobia, saying his extreme views pose a real danger to Israeli democracy and have no place in such a worthy organization. MDA, which Jacobs praises for the admirable work they do and the help they give to people regardless of race, religion, or creed, has responded to complaints over Eliyahu's appointment, saying he has no authority to set policy with the organization. Jacobs, however, says the mere act of Eliyahu's appointment taints the entire organization and validates Eliyahu as a leader in Israel. Jacobs urges MDA to solve the issue, saying, "We trust your leadership to find a solution so that we can all be blessed by your work." The wife of kidnapped Jewish American Warren Weinstein marked the first anniversary of his abduction in Pakistan with a desperate plea for his release. Elaine Weinstein said in a statement Monday that she fears for her husband's deteriorating health, saying he suffers from a heart condition, severe asthma, and high blood pressure. Weinstein, who is 71 years old, is an aid worker from Rockville, Maryland. He was kidnapped last August by Al-Qaeda, who released a video in May in which Weinstein said he would be killed unless President Obama agreed to the group's demands. The White House has called for Weinstein's immediate release, but has said that it will not negotiate with Al-Qaeda. Weinstein's wife's statement mentioned their grandchildren who ask for Weinstein every day. She said, "It is impossible to describe the pain and sadness my daughters and I feel. We are simply heartsick. I always imagined growing old with Warren and enjoying our family together." And lastly, the Anti-Defamation League has filed an amicus brief, a friend of the court, urging the U.S. Supreme Court to uphold the admissions policy of the University of Texas, in a case that marks the first time since 2003 that the High Court will take on the issue of affirmative action. The university's policies are being challenged by a white woman who applied to the university and alleges that she was discriminated against because of her race. In previous Supreme Court cases dealing with affirmative action in university admissions, the ADL has filed briefs opposing the policies in question. However, in this case, ADL's National Chair Robert Sugarman and National Director Abe Foxman released a statement defending the university's policy, which they said only uses race as one factor in a holistic review of each applicant. They said this is not an overt or a covert quota system, which ADL would have opposed. Rather, it is an effective and constitutionally sound way to ensure diversity and an important step towards the creation of a fully integrated society which honors inclusiveness and is free of racial and ethnic hatred and the discrimination which results from it. The Supreme Court will hear arguments in the case on October the 10th. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.